Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to the channel. My name is Amani. I'm so excited to be here today. And of course, this is 2025, and I'm always ready for another message for life, especially with the parents. I'm obsessed with how we can really educate the next generation so that we know where our nation, where our communities are going. And I want to tell you, over 7 years of experience, I've been working with the children from different backgrounds, those who are living on the streets, those who were born in poverty, those who are born in families that are economically stable, but they don't have social understanding on how to raise a kid. And I've been doing that work across different cultures. So I understand what it means to raise a child and how difficult this can be if not taken care as early as possible. And today I just want to talk about one thing. There's always a conflict happening between parents, and you are a mother, you are a father, and sometimes you don't work together because you are totally different human beings, and you're trying to really support your life. You're trying to be happy. You're trying to to fit in a community, and you don't want to cause more problems. So sometimes you might see that your partner is not going to be your life partner. But on the other hand, you've given birth to some kids, maybe one, two, three, or more. But sometimes you decide to file for divorce, and it might be given to you. But I want to tell you one thing, and this is not from a given research. I didn't make a research on this. I'm just talking about this from my experience. By the time you file for divorce and you get it, one big thing that you're doing to your children is you're not giving them a chance to be raised by both parents. And when kids are not raised with both parents, they are going to face a lot of major problems. But the major problem comes in because they are not going to see the love between you guys. And these are the kids who you want to be successful or to be strong and become parents at some point in the future. And you're not modeling the example, because if you separate, you're really showing your kid that you were not able to maintain that kind of big relationship that resulted into having them. So you're teaching them one other problem, and that might occur in their life, and they will not be able to really grow up strong with this understanding that sometimes things don't go the way you want, but it doesn't mean that you react just the way you also want, because this affects some people, not just directly to you, but to some other people. This is what happens when you file a divorce, when you go for another, you know, marriage, and you feel like, okay, I can go for somebody else and just leave you, the husband of the father of my children, and you go to find another husband, or go to find another wife if you are a husband. But just to know that you're telling your children that there is always another option. So there is no need to be resilient, and there is no need to be patient, because sometimes I see and I've seen some parents really go through a divorce or go through a separation. It doesn't have to be a divorce, but sometimes it is just a separation. And then at some point they find out that their children actually need more of their fathers than they used to think, because probably they divorced when the children were small, were young, and now they are growing up. They need a kind of a mother in the house, or they need a kind of husband in the house, a father in the house. And now these single parents start questioning, how am I going to raise these kids? How am I going to raise these kids? And sometimes you don't really get the person back, which, like in most cases, if you separate, it's hard to come back together. But the problems that these children are going to face are so much, because when a kid is growing, is learning from the people around them, and the people around them, it's their parents. So if a kid is learning from one parent, there is another aspect of a parent that they would learn, but they don't have the chance to experience that. So I'm giving out this message to you that when something like this is happening, just to know that you might be being selfish in terms of just looking at your side of, because you're going to be affected, of course, but also know that this is going to affect your children. This is going to affect your entire generation coming. So when you're looking into separation, please understand that the effects are more than what you just think. Understand that your children, your grandchildren will be facing problems from this. If there is a good mother needs a good father in the house to make a perfect child, and to make a very good environment for the child to be able to grow up learning from both parents, understanding how a good mother is and how a good father is. And you both teach your child how to behave and how to be there when it comes to understanding their own life experience, but also their own future as well. Because the boy is learning from the mom to see how a beautiful wife looks like, and still at the father to learn how a beautiful father looks like in the house. The same thing goes to a female child. This young woman is learning from the mom how to be a good mom. And still at the same time, this child is looking at the father and defining who is the future husband. And this is very important. This takes us to another point. That's why I always tell you, you need to be a role modeling parent. Once you are not a good parent, for example, if you are a drunkard, how do you teach your young woman, your young daughter, how to define a perfect husband? I don't mean a perfect husband. A perfect husband doesn't exist, but there is a good husband. There is a good husband, not just a nice husband, but a good husband. It's the person who understands the role of a man in the house, a husband in the family, a father in the family, and can bear responsibilities and be held accountable. And at the same time, this young woman is learning from the mom how to be a good mom, who understands how to take care of the children, who to take care of the responsibilities in the house, and also to be always close, to be the person who represents the family, who understands what it means to be in the house, to be in the family, and take care of the house. So these are the things that your children are going to miss once you decide to not be together, and you decide that these children are going to just see one side of their life. And I don't want your children to be facing such problems. So guys, this was just a little message, but just to know that you don't need to cause problems in your entire generation, because your success after you are a grown up is looked into through the success of your children, the success of the next generation from you. So I want to say thank you so much for listening to me. And if this makes sense, just know that you can hit the subscribe button. I love you so much, and I wish you many blessings. All right, this was really good.